Hi, I'm Paul and I've just been shat on by a pigeon. We're on a motorboat. We're gonna do a tour of the city. You'll find out that we saved the introduction as the last part, so for the most part you'll see me with clean sleeves. We are now turning onto the Grimbergwal. This is one of the oldest canals in Amsterdam, and up until recently this used to be a two-way canal. You can probably imagine how that must have looked on a busy day. There's a small terrace here, belongs to a pie shop called the Laatste Kruimel, the last crumb. And this area is now taken over by the university. On the right-hand side is a university building. And the building in front of us, the Old Man's Gate, now also belongs to the university. We are now turning into the old town, the oldest part of Amsterdam that was settled around 1,000 years ago. Most of the original buildings have not survived because they were usually built out of wood and they were later replaced by brick buildings. But one of the older buildings that you'll find is this house on the corner. In Dutch it's called het huis aan de drie grachten, the house on the three canals. This is the City Bank of Landing, and it's basically a city-owned pawn shop. You can bring your stuff there, your family jewelry or maybe a musical instrument, and get money for it in return as a loan. You have to pay the loan back with interest within, I believe, 18 months, and then you get your stuff back. But if you don't manage it, they will auction it off. And this house has been in operation for over 3 centuries and has helped Amsterdammers stay out of the clutches of loan sharks. This is one of the oldest public urinals in Amsterdam. Nowadays they're made out of green sheet metal, and they're a bit of necessary evil. They are dirty and they smell, but it beats peeing in the canals while drunk, because then you run the risk of falling in. You'll notice that this canal features several branches of the Bulldog coffee shop chain. A coffee shop obviously is not where you go to have coffee, the same way that you don't go to the banana bar for the bananas. Here we go, a bulldog with a bulldog. How meta is that? The general understanding is that soft drugs are legalized in Amsterdam. That's not entirely true. It's legal to be under the influence, and it's not illegal to buy soft drugs for your personal use. But running a coffee shop is something else. It's very complicated. People that run coffee shops, they are running into trouble. For instance, they have difficulty getting a bank account, and this was especially true for the owners of the Bulldog chain of coffee shops. They were amongst the first, they were quite successful, but they had nowhere to store their cash because banks wouldn't do business with them. To get rid of their cash, they started investing in real estate, and they paid 10% above the asking price if they were allowed to pay in cash. And there's an anecdote of this where the owner of the Bulldog would show up for a transaction with 2 plastic bags filled with small denomination notes, 5ers and 10ers. And he told the notary, well, I think all the money's here. I didn't have time to count it, so I weighed it. And so here you are, let me know if there's anything missing. Just to illustrate how desperately they needed to get rid of their cash. So, smack in the middle of the red light district, you will find the Old Church. It's the oldest building still standing in Amsterdam, dated originally 1309, but newer sections have been added later. Of course, it wasn't called the Old Church when it was first built. Back then it was called the St. Nicholas Church. St. Nicholas is the patron saint of Amsterdam, and later when Amsterdam turned Protestant, that's when they also changed the name. Nowadays we have a new St. Nicholas Church, and you'll be able to see its dome in front of us later on. Even though this canal is in the middle of the red light district, you will not see many prostitution windows from the water. They are hidden in the alleys, and there's another canal behind this that has lots of prostitution windows. However, that canal is closed off for boats. You can't go there. So normally in Amsterdam you have a canal, 2 streets on either side, and then the buildings. In this corner the configuration is a little bit different. Over here the houses are built directly into the water. That's something that you don't see very much in Amsterdam, but it's familiar from Venice, and that's why we call this corner Little Venice. That's it for now. We hope we have inspired you to rent your own mocha boat. So hopefully see you on the water soon. Bye bye.